So, and then you come back. Camera is not an important part of the bhakti and tirtha at all. Because what you capture in your eye remains with your eye. How many times have you gone seeing all the pictures that you have clicked on your mobile? I see people clicking. Just to tell you how useless these pictures are. I'm not against camera, not saying stop taking pictures, but just to put in the context. Have you ever wondered, we stand in the queue for hours to get inside a mandir. Once we reach in front of the Bhagwan, what do? We fold our hand, bend our head, and right. So when you would have gone as a kid for the first time, or a small kid goes with you, to tell him, fold your hand, bend your head. But have anybody told you, or have you told anyone to close the eye? No. That something comes from within, right? So each of us know instinctively that the God is within. Now the question comes then, why go to the mandir or why you need a murti? Because when you learn English, you are told A for apple. Doesn't mean apple comes out of A. If you learn A for apple, then you will understand apple grows in Jammu and Himachal. So that's the initial part. So if you go into any mandir, you will find the pandit who is doing the puja is the youngest pujaji. The mahant actually will be in his room doing the prayer. He understands how to connect with the Bhagwan. So, am I against having a 5-star hotel in Tirthyatra places? No. So, I'm just asking them to adopt to the place, and we Hindus have to demand it. Just to give an example, if you go to Goa or any resort in a sea beach, you will find that the hotel room won't have a carpet. Because people will come walking from the sea beach, they will find sand particles that will destroy the carpet. They adopt it. So, many 5-star hotels, almost all of them today have a yoga instructor. So, you should have a pandit. If you are offering in a Rameshwaram or a Kashiji or a Vidyaji, you must have a satsang in the morning and evening, and not a pub. And as a Hindu, we need to demand and stand for it. And who is entitled for a VIP? That's not the person who can pay 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 1,000 rupees. A VIP is somebody who does really something big for a mandir. So like Kashiji was restored not by people of North alone. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, they covered it with the gold. King from Nepal gave the money. Kings from Bengal gave the money. Peshwas, Marathas, Devi Ahilyabai Holkar, all over India she did. But you'll find two interesting things. When Aurangzeb was destroying Kashi, two things happened. He had killed all the Brahmins. It was very clear that the Sanskrit books should be destroyed completely and the Brahmins should be wiped out. So then Brahmins from Andhra and Maharashtra went and settled there. And he has passed the judgment that any Hindu who stays in Kashiji will have to convert or pay jizya. So the fear was that most of the Hindus will leave the place. So king from Karnataka, Hosla king, actually paid the jizya for the Hindus living in Kashiji to Aurangzeb. So this is the kind of people whom need to treat VIPs. So in today's world, my view is that any mother, father who have 4 kids should be the VIP. Because the mother has given pain to the body too. And the father has taken the responsibility to give birth to 4 kids. The guy with 1 or 2 kids is actually trying to save money and time so that he can roam around and be a VIP. So we need to redefine who is actually VIP. And that will be the real contribution for the mandir. I'm coming to the end part of it. The book is in 2 volumes. The second volume, I talk about a decade for mandir, where I have given different aspects that we need to take corrective steps. Some of them I explain. But I call it a decade for mandir. So the idea is that it doesn't matter how old or young you are, or how you're a male or a female, or rich or poor. Just dedicate next 10 years of your life. If you're a 70, decide that next 70 to 80 I'm giving for temple. If you're 20 years old, give 20 to 30 years of your life for the mandir. And what you do? Many things. But the smallest thing that we need to do is that please start visiting a mandir every day. If all 60, 70 crore Hindus start visiting a mandir every day for next 10 years, rest assured, all our problems will be solved. It will be taken care of. There is an ecosystem which will take care of it. And with this, I'll stop. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And I hope his talk will inspire all of us to take it.
Thank you, sir. It was really enlightening. It was just not brilliant. We didn't know that, economics means so many things. We just thought it's the money that we pay for ticket, and that's about it. And also the role of temple for preserving our culture, food grains, and various aspects have been, covered. And we are really fortunate to have you here, sir. And our next guest is Dr. S. Lingamurthy, and he's an assistant professor, associate professor, I beg your pardon, sir, of economics at the Department of Economic Studies and Planning, Central University of Karnataka. His research interests include micro and small scale enterprise, agriculture, financial inclusion, migration, employment issues, and cultural economy, including temple and festival economy. Dr. Murthy has a diverse professional background, including a postdoctoral fellowship at JNU, New Delhi, and research roles at the National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayat Raj, and the National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management, and teaching positions in various institutions. He has attended 12th and 13th WTO ministerial conferences at Geneva, Switzerland, and Abu Dhabi, UAE. His work has been recognized with multiple academic awards, including 3 gold medals during his MA in economics and the ICSSR fellowship. And he is editor of a book on Vikasit Bharat at 2047, Way Towards Self-Reliance, and organization point of view, convener, Dakshina Madhya Kshetra, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh states. And he's been associated with Swadeshi Jagran Manch also. We are fortunate to have you here, sir. And Dr. Lingamurthy is going to give his speech about Vikasit Bharat.
Dhanyavad. In fact, I'm not going to give the substitute of the argument of what Sandeep ji has given. It will be complementary or supplementary to his argument. Because the definition of Vikasit Bharat itself is being defined by Kautilya way back, almost 3,000 years back. The concept of Vikasit Bharat is Sukasya Moolam Dharma. So each and every person wants to be in happy situation, happiest person in his life. Sukasya Moolam Dharma and Dharmasya Moolam Artha. So dharma is to be dependent on economy, means each and every person's economic situation is to be rising. And there should not be any poverty. We never pray for the Daridra. We pray for Ashtalakshmi every time. So that is the basic essence of economy in our country. And that's the has narrated. So when we brought out this book, Vikasit Bharat 2047, Way Towards Self-Reliance, and 2 of the contributors are here in this audience also, Professor Priyesh from Kerala University and Dr. Depal from Central University of Karnataka. Both are here. And they have papers also. So this book has been divided into 5 sections. That the first one is transforming overall economy. Second one is entrepreneurs' insights. Third one is environmental and e-mobility. The fourth one is cultural economy. And fifth one is revival of state governments, state economy. So when it comes to the first section, as we know, the way our country is progressing, where entire world is striving to get 2%, 2.5%, 3% growth rate, our country is registering continuously 7% and more than 7% from last 10 years. And due to COVID-19, it has come down, but it is continuously, consistently registering more than 7% of the GDP over the decade. So it shows the India's consistent rise in the world economy, where world is shrinking in the GDP aspect. So what are the reasons for rising India's economy consistently? Of course, there are structural changes in the economy, structural reforms, as well as processing reforms. As the new government after 2014 has taken up whatever the policies. And structural reforms, of course, it has been taken in 1991. And the processing reforms have been started implementing in 2014 onwards. What is processing reforms? Fitting nuts and bolts for the economy, for the speedy and faster recovery in each and every sector. So, wherever the lacunas are there, wherever the hurdles are there for the Indian economy, so immediately the government of India has started revamping that system. And that's the reason economy is striving as per the economists. Being an economist, I have to agree. But the present point behind this processing reforms is we have to think more beyond the economy. The world has produced more than 100 economists as Nobel laureates. But again, these same Nobel laureates have produced more than 400 economic crises. If you look at the global history, economic history, or European history or Western countries' economic histories, so you will see more than 400 economic crises where more than 100 Nobel laureates comes from those lands. But India has not produced any single Nobel laureate except Amartya Sen and Abhijit Banerjee, though they are not based on Indian ethos Nobel laureates. But without having any kind of noble production in economics field, how India is consistently rising with internal strength. That is what is important here. So the important strength, what is keeping India's economy in vibrant situation everywhere throughout the world, throughout the country, even in rural areas as well as in urban areas. To keep vibrant situation in Indian economy is our festivals and temples. Without these two, you cannot see any kind of consumer demand index throughout the country. Every month you will get one kind of festival, or every 2 months you will get one kind of festival where your stimulus for spending is automatic. It is organic way of investment or organic way of demanding products in the economic market. And that keeps us vibrant economic situation. If you leave aside our temples and economy from the economic aspect, economic debate, what you have to spend for common or ordinary person in a year, except their birthdays or marriage days, do they spend for anything? But when it comes to Dasara, Deepavali, Sankranti or any kind of festival, one or other kind of product will be purchased by the average household in this country. Irrespective of the classes, I'm talking about economic classes. Irrespective of the economic class, everybody tries to spend at least 10 rupees from their household. And in a day-to-day basis, when we want to do some kind of puja, of course puja is not just sitting in front of God and doing dhyana. There is some kind of economic system for putting oil and cotton and everywhere. So all these things stimulate economic development also, agriculture development also. So this festivals and temples keeps vibrant our economic system without having any noble prize from this soil. We have sustained our economy continuously from the ancient time. That's the reason our country is living civilization with our own ethos and dharma without losing our culture, as Sandeepji narrated in his book also. And when it comes to economic decisions, and of course, we have progressed from the criminalized economic policies to the democratized economic policies. What is criminalized economic policies? When we got independence in 1947, we have adopted socialistic system, assuming that socialism is the only way to address the people for having welfare state. But what it has resulted, the result is corruption, the result is stopping talent, the result is not allowing any innovations, the result is not allowing any kind of industry in the soil. And everybody left this country, and those who graduated from IITs and IIMs left from this country and settled in somewhere else, and they got success. And if anybody want to start their industry, and how much they have to produce, how much quantity they have to produce, how much quantity they have to sell in the market, everything is to be decided by the bureaucrats and government. And no individual has any right to produce anything, no individual has right to do any kind of entrepreneur activity. If anybody starts, then immediately it will be penalized on that particular person. And that is what criminalizing policies to the democratized policies, what I am saying. So the socialistic era is completely criminalized policies. I hope you might have heard about Dhirubhai Ambani. So Dhirubhai Ambani has produced more than the licensed permit. And immediately Dhirubhai Ambani was penalized. And entire Guru Cinema picture was on that episode only. So how come you produce more than the licensed permit? So for producing more, you have to pay tax more. Or you have to fine more. So this is the way our industry was being handled, and that's the reason our Indian economic growth from 1947 to till 1980s, it was 2.7 growth rate. Unfortunately, it is called as Hindu rate of growth rate by leftists, K.N. Raj. So it is not Hindu growth rate, it is socialistic growth rate. The socialistic growth rate has called as Hindu growth rate. And after 1991, we have structural reforms where we have brought out globalization, liberalization, privatization into the economic system. And of course, we have started some kind of rising economy in all fields. Of course, again, we have some kind of setbacks because our Indian entrepreneurship, our Indian industry was not ready to prepare all kinds of the imports which were going to happen in 1991. And that's the reason our industry was not ready to play equal role along with the multinational companies. And that's the reason our handloom industry, handicrafts industry have lost their identity from 1991 to till 2014. And it is the first time who talked about the Indian handicrafts clusters. For the first time in Indian history, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Indian handicraft industry is not just a product, it is our culture. Handicraft is imbibed with our culture, the way the art form is being designed in our Lok, which we have presented in our Lokmanthan also. It is our culture identity. In the same way, our handicrafts also being designed to child to play along with imbibing culture. By looking at the toy, the child also will be nurtured some kind of culture which will be sustainable in his own life as well as the global cause. So that is the way of our life by producing all kinds of commodities. So to promote handicrafts and handlooms, from 2014 onwards, the government of India has taken major steps, and particularly when it comes to Khadi, Khadi was being into the losses. But after 2014, Khadi is into profit situation. Now Khadi became brand itself. So this is what nuts and bolts, the democratization policy and democratizing economic policies. Means everybody has their equal right to play for the development of country. And second thing, India's strength at present is the demographic dividend. More than 50% of the youth is less than 25 years age, and average Indian age group is 29 years. And more than 65% of the age group, more than 65% of the population lives in below 35 years. It means India has lot of capacity to perform, and India has to given opportunities. Means the youth has to be given opportunities to perform and to maintain their own livelihoods in the economic system. And for that reason, whatever the bottlenecks were there till 2014, the Prime Minister of India has settled everything by implementing so many policies. The first one is Jan Dhan Yojana. Jan Dhan Yojana played a major role in Indian economy because till 2014, India's bank inclusive rate was less than 50%. So from 1947 to 2014, all the governments have tried a lot and talked about financial inclusion a lot, but the result was nothing. But when Jan Dhan Yojana came, immediately each and every household has given bank account, debit card. So this resulted in a change in the Indian economic system. And afterwards, after demonetization, when UPI came, so UPI has played a major role in Indian economy because each and every person, whether he is literate or illiterate, is part and parcel of formal economic system. Earlier, it was completely informal economy, which the transaction was happening in the hard money. But when UPI has implemented, then immediately each and every person has become part of formal economic system because every transaction is routed through the bank. And each and every family has been raised to credit worthy. And before that, they were not credit worthy. So banks were not giving any kind of credit to the individual households, and banks were reluctant to give any kind of small scale industries. But when Jan Dhan Yojana implemented and UPI has come, then immediately everybody's credit worthy has increased, and now each and every family is credit worthy when it comes to the banking aspect. So bank inclusiveness has been increased from less than 50% to almost 98% even till now. And the second one is when Russia-Ukraine war is happening. So India was taking neutral stand, neither towards Russia nor Ukraine. So India was handling with both the countries with equal importance. Any kind of nothing was partiality towards Ukraine or Russia because it's a part of geopolitics. So you have to see the country first approach. So India has taken country first approach. So from Russia we have some kind of benefits, and from Ukraine also we have some kind of benefits, and both are important for us. And we have played equally with both the countries, and we have tried to help both the countries equally. And with this situation, America was not ready, and America was not accepting, and America tried to impose some kind of sanctions on India. And America said, if you be equally with both the countries, then I will not allow you to into the international transactions with the SWIFT. I will take away the SWIFT transaction from you. Then India said, well and good, all the best, we have UPI. And now UPI is playing a dramatic role in the international scenario, and it has addressed all geopolitical problems. If UPI could not there, then we could have surrendered to America's pressure. But when our youth invented UPI, it was not somebody's rocket science studied people invented this UPI process. It is just 4 or 5 engineering students from IITs have invented this, and Government of India adopted. And with this process means the innovation, the boost up of innovation among the young minds has been pushed by the Government of India, and Government of India has given equal opportunities to everybody to innovate and to run their own entrepreneurship through democratic process, through the formal process. So that is what the criminalization process to the democratization process. And second thing is environment and e-mobility. So we are talking about environment, but our environment is part and parcel of our country. When we go to the people tree, immediately we say namaskar. When we go to Tulsi tree, immediately we do namaskar. Means environment is our lifeblood. Protecting environment is our lifeblood. But due to the adopted Western policies, we have ignored or we have forgotten. But it is the time to remember our ethics, our values in protecting environment. Actually, environment economy is not substitute. It is complementary together. They can go together only. But the Western economics always says, if you want to have something, you have to lose the other. But Indian concept, as well as, you need not to lose anything, you can go along with. So that is what our concept. The Vikasit Bharat talks about as well as concept, live along with others. live and let live concept. And that's what has been bring out in this book also, environmental concept, how to protect environment and how to bring e-products for the sustainability, environmental sustainability, and how to integrate AI, artificial intelligence. The 21st century is going to be led by AI completely, or Internet of Things. So this Internet of Things and artificial intelligence is to be integrated with the economy to protect environment as well as to maintain sustainability in the Indian economic system. So during 90s and 80s, we have lost that bus because our young youth could not catch it because of our approaches. The technology will replace employment, our computer will replace the youngsters' employment. Like that, the kind of narrative we have developed, and we showed some kind of hesitancy in adopting the technology. But it is the time for Indian youth to lead AI throughout the world.
బ్యాటరీ అయిపోయింది.
So, the second part of the book talks about the artificial intelligence integration.
వచ్చేసింది.
Vemlavada Rajarajeshwara Swami Temple, Yadadri Temple. So in all these temples, our observations, I along with my students have conducted survey in these 3 temples. And another 2 temples we are going to conduct in Bhadrachalam as well as in Chulukuru Balaji Swami Temple. How temples play an important role in economic boosting. Whenever a person's income increases, the marginal propensity to consume, the consumption index, how it increases. So whenever a person goes to temple, he is not only spending from his pocket, he is part of culture, part of dharma, and making somebody to become live. Somebody's entrepreneurship become live. So expenditure becomes Y income in economics. In the same way, here culture is integrated. And that's the reason through culture, through dharma, our economy is being sustained, our economy is being vibrant situation throughout the years from the ancient time. And when I had the interaction with one of the 10th class failed person in Vemlavada, he is multi-level skilled person. Of course, he was failed in 10th class. He was putting tika to me. Whenever you go to Tirumala Darshan, immediately after coming back from the Darshan, somebody will come and put tika. 3 namas. So if you ask that person how much you earn in a day, he will tell. In the same way, I asked one person in Vemlavada who put tika. Then he told me that through tika I earn minimum 1200 rupees in a day. Will you demand anybody? No, I will not demand anybody. Everybody will give me out of respect or out of voluntary. Means it is not priced. It is out of devotion. That is what dharma. So dharma has many forms. So in each situation, dharma has its own form. You cannot define dharma, what is dharma. So every time, for every person, for every situation, dharma, situation changes. So here, when a person put tika, out of emotion or out of karuna, you will give some kind of money. And through that kind of money, a single person's earning per day is 1200 rupees. 10th class fail person. And I asked, what else you do along with this? Then he took me to his store, where he has just 4x4 one wheel, what you call, pull-up cart. So in that cart, he made some rings. some bronze items, different items, which are again you can use for the dharmic activities or cultural activities, or you can use for your ring or bracelet kind of thing. Nothing is waste. I asked who manufactured this. He said, I, myself and my wife. We both do. So how much you earn from this? I not only sell this through my pull-up cart, I also give somebody else as a manufacturer. So per month I earn 60,000 rupees through these bronze items. Means a 10th class failed person per month he is earning more than 70,000 rupees just beside the temple. If somebody asks me how much employment is created to temple, I can say a small temple like Rajaraja Swami temple in Vemulavada, the Vemulavada temple alone is giving livelihood indirectly more than 3,000 families. So if you want to discuss about the caste, religion, everybody is there, including Muslims. Muslims are running their stores by having puja material. So my request, those who ask how much economy is being created, how much employment is being created to temple, you just take them to Vemulavada temple. Let them observe. So a small temple in Vemulavada gives more than 3,000 families livelihood. So 3,000 families means you can multiply with 4 persons. 12,000 people just because of temple city, Vemulavada is getting livelihood. And not only this 12,000 people who are putting stalls, or 3,000 families who are putting stalls. There are autos, there are cars, there are hotels, there are persons who who gives rent rooms during the peak season of the darshan. So if you compare entire economic system of a small temple, you will come to know at least more than 5,000 families are getting direct benefit out of temple. Just a small temple. I am not talking about Kashi, Varanasi or Ayodhya or Tirupati. If you go to Tirupati, Kashi, Varanasi, Jammu, that is different scenario. Likewise, I have studied in Basra. How Basra is being created impact on the livelihoods of the Basra village. Anybody knows Basra without temple? Nobody knows. Basra known by temple, Ma Saraswati. So, because of Ma Saraswati, that village is getting livelihood. And the village is getting revenue. If you keep temple away from the village revenue, then village is nothing. Village will have, like other villages, poverty and all. Because the kind of policies we have adopted so far is the result of poverty, corruption and all, the result of this kind of policies which we have adopted. But the temples maintain the sustainability of Indian economy. And the fourth one is revival of economy of the states. Most of the people believe that that model of economy means Kerala model. My friends are there from Kerala. If you look at the Kerala model, you just ask if anybody says Kerala model of economy, what is Kerala model of economy? Is there an improvement in agriculture? Is there an improvement in industry? Is there an improvement in tourism? Is there an improvement in service sector? Is there an improvement in employment? Then what is Kerala model? If you ask these questions, answer will be no. But what is Kerala model? Kerala model is nothing but narration. They will say the livelihoods, or they will say the health conditions. Health conditions are because of the family system. It is not because of the government. The Ayurveda and the way they followed the traditional food and medicines are because of the families. Nothing from the government. But the government collapsed Kerala's existing economic system. Actually, nothing is Kerala model. If I am wrong, please excuse me, both the professors are from Kerala. So Kerala model is negative growth rate of agriculture, negative growth rate of industry, negative growth rate of service sector, full of migration, no youngster lives in Kerala, no educated person lives in Kerala, only old persons lives in Kerala, and for them ghost tax will be there. Just recently, government of Kerala has thinking to impose ghost tax, means those who have vacated house, means unoccupied house, have to pay the tax because it is burden to somebody else. Like in Uttarakhand, Congress government wants to put toilet tax. In the same way, Kerala government also want to put ghost tax. So, Kerala model of economy is nothing. That's what Priyeshji brought out in his article, in this book. Likewise, remaining other states also. Every state has their own strength. Like Telangana has also its own strength in handloom activities, handloom clusters. Handloom clusters have to be revived for the sustainability of the livelihood as well as the economy. So, like this, most of the aspects of the economy have been covered in this book. So, I request everybody to go through. And economy is not just talking about the livelihoods, it is the integration of dharma, culture, and that is also brought out in this book. As we have the ancient welfare economic sutra, that is Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kashchit dukkha bhagavate. Welfare economics we teach in economic theories, but the sloka, it is there from the Veda style, means the economic basic concept is making everybody happy, sukhina, and free from all kinds of diseases, and everyone should enjoy their life. This is what all about the life. So that is what all about the economy. And with this aim, this book also has been brought out. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Lingamurthy Garu. We had a few minutes of very interesting and enlightening lectures. I personally have benefited, and I'm sure many of you also have benefited. My takeaway from both the talks is that both the speakers emphasized how we can live with God. Modernism, the modern age, ushered mankind into a period in which man learned to live with machines. Now with the onset of the AI technology, 3D printing, increasingly machines will learn to run themselves, and man will be only kind of a stepney. And so technology is going to force us back into times where we will have to return to live with God. And if we can combine that with the wisdom to live with nature, then we will survive as mankind and civilization. A few words about Samvit Kendra, of which I am the president. This is a research-oriented organization. We conduct samvadas, we publish books, we network intellectuals. We also run some study circles. Their regular interchange of ideas takes place. I am very thankful to all of you for having taken the trouble joining us and making this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your concluding remarks. Post the concluding remarks, I'd like to give a brief introduction about Rahul Shastriji. He needs no introduction, but just for the formality's sake, I'm doing it. Dr. Rahul Shastriji is a gold medalist in MA, and he is a PhD from Osmania University. He's an author, Department of Economics, Osmania University. Currently, as he mentioned, he is the president of Samvit Kendra and secretary NAD Hyderabad. He has published 27 research papers and articles in different areas in economics, and also authored several books like From Marx to the Mother, The Great Leap Forward, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on nationalism and Islam, Dr. Hegdewar, seer, patriarch and national builder, denying national roots, liberation struggle of Hyderabad. And sir, you have presided this, chaired this session wonderfully. Thank you, sir. I'd like to just give one concluding remark. I could always, I hear elders saying Bhukti and Mukti are intertwined. But how they are intertwined has been, presented with very wonderful examples by both the speakers. Thank you, sir. And the session is open for question and answer. Sir, with your permission, can we? Yes. Question and answers, please throw the questions at both the speakers. Thank you.
Very good morning to all of you. A wonderful session. Thank you for illuminating us with a different perspective. I have a small, not a Korea kind of an observation to Shri Sandeep Singh sir. And the very cornerstone of this both presentation is how our culture, our temple is a corner block, okay, fundamental to our development. Role of temple in our economic development. And we know that, my question is this, are our temples are free to function? Are the temples are under government control? And after independence, I can understand colonial period, they will do all the things to control the temple. We got independence, 75 years are over. Did the government allow our temples to function freely? At least last 10 years we thought that there is some kind of a forward movement in this direction, whereas the devotees will run the temple. And unfortunately, I am coming from south, from Kerala. It is the Marxist government which is running the temple. Okay, who doesn't believe in God, or who say that religion is opium. Okay, running a temple. Whereas in Tamil Nadu, the Dravidian movement, which is anti-Hindu, they are running the temple. Okay, then what stops government to give these temples to devotees? Okay, who can nothing has not happened on the ground. While saying that, to devotees to run it, and what kind of a temple administration as our devotees should evolve, so the very function of the temple as a cornerstone of our development process can happen there. I am Sharad Chandran, I am a faculty member from Goa University. It was a very illuminating perspective you gave, sir. Okay, how a temple, okay, the activities around the temple has so many kind of a multiplier effect, and that transcends to various aspect of a very interesting and illuminating presentation to both of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the kind words. I must subscribe my book for your library. You asked three things. One was that what is stopping giving it back to the mandir. I think it's the devotees who are stopping government from giving it back to the mandir, because I don't see enough Hindu on the road, on the streets, to ask the mandir back. We live in Kali, and the street power decides the government policies. The Kerala, I don't think enough Hindu are in Tamil Nadu. We wonder as the rest of India that why so many Hindus don't speak up against the kind of statements come. Forget about taking back the mandir. Coming to the, so one is that I definitely believe that we Hindus are not speaking enough, loud enough, so that government can hear and fear us to give the mandir back. The second question comes is that argument by the government and many people is that if we give back the mandir, who will run it? So my one first answer is that this government is 75-year-old only. Our mandirs are 1,000 years old. Who was running them before that? And they've seen the worst kind of invaders, Portuguese, Islamic, Christian, British. They've survived. They survived because of the common man. The society will take over. And we have enormous number of instances. I've cited in my book. A few years back, there was a mandir in trust in Jharkhand was creating a problem. People threw them out lock, stock and barrel, managing it. And there are enough number of temples. There's a very interesting, how did the government got into the mandir? It is we Hindus who went to the British asking them to intervene our inner fight, because that guy is making more money, I'm not getting chance to make money. And once that you all have read, two cats went to monkey with a roti. The government is doing its monkey job, balancing it. So it's we who are at the fault. And the second question is that if we go out, who will manage it as again?
This is exactly the answer.
Change. Okay.
So, there is a space running spirit. So, the British used to say that if you leave this country, who will run it? The country is running perfectly much better. So, we need to go back and tell the government sometime in straight words that we are better. All the government departments are corrupt, so should we take over all of them? And the one thing we also need to be clear that the temples or mandirs are in the control of state government. Central government will have a very limited role in it. That's some part we have to understand. And as I said, the basic question that you said, start visiting the mandir every day. If your locality will start visiting the mandir, slowly you will start recognizing what's the problem with it. You will develop that affinity towards it. And mandir has to do a lot of things, Like there are a lot of poor kids who will find living around the mandir. Just giving a small example. Is that do we celebrate their birthdays in the mandir and why not? If you look at different mandirs have different form of Bhagwan. Some form they are a bal, small form as a kid, the God. So God talks to us in all forms. And why should we restrict? And that is maybe one of the reasons when I see that when a mandir is being broken, people living around look at it quietly and walk away. Because they don't feel they belong to it. Because mandir has also never made them feel that they belong to them. I'll give you an example. One day I landed up in a mall at 9:30 and my specs were broken. I was in a hurry to get it repaired. It was still not open yet. There was a lady sitting there. I overheard talking to somebody on her mobile. And it was quite a I heard in a conversation about I overheard. She had left husband's house in the night. She had some problem. She didn't want to go back to the parents' house. So she has spent whole night sitting in front of the mall because there was a light and a watchman. What a shame that she couldn't think of going to the mandir. The first stop traditionally, and if you watch even movies till 1970s, anyone had a problem in the house, he or she will land up at the mandir, and the mandir's pujari will take care. Where did we use it? Are we not responsible for it? Whom to blame? It's we, our ancestors, we collectively have to revive it. So society, community falls because every aspect of a society falls down. It revives when everybody revives. And that's where my answer came is that let's start visiting the mandir. This is a small thing but has a huge implication. You don't need to write huge policy papers, or coming out with jargons. Start visiting the mandir, start visiting it every day. Situation will improve. We'll have affinity. They will realize that if you touch a brick in this mandir, there will be 1 lakh people standing for it. And the last point on this is that there are 2 theories how we got independence. One school says because of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi's method, they can follow what they are following today. The second set of people believe we got the freedom because of the methods of V.O. Chidambaram Pillai or Subhash Chandra Bose or Bhagat Singh. Then we might have to adopt that method to free our mandirs from the government. Thank you.
Just to add to Sandeepji's answer, actually mandirs are not only limited to our Bhakti Kendras. Mandirs have played vital economic roles. Till 14th century, particularly southern part of Bharat, the trade which was happening from the 1st century to 14th century, the trade pattern and entire trade was funded by temples. I'll name two temples. The first one is Aihole temple in Karnataka, Bagalkoti district, and the second one is Manigramam near Madurai. These temples used to fund entire trade from South India. And through trade, our culture and our dharma has prevailed throughout the world. Means, temples not only limited to our bhakti kendras, they have played vital role of human development or holistic development of human beings, society. Thank you.
My question is very simple next time. Myself Brahmo Palsa, I belong to Shilpakala district. And my question is that nowadays we are seeing that there are many Christians and the churches are following our tradition. They don't have the GoPros and the Dwajastambham and all. And they are following that. Along with that, they are even using that coconut. So, as per our knowledge and tradition, so this is our as it's a completely economic form. So I am saying that how they are following that, making that program and they are almost following in some of the churches. They are building churches. It is as like a temple, as like a mandir. So how it is going to affect our economy? Are they scratching? Are they taking away our economy from Hindus?
The culture appropriation is the word for it. As I said, for the sari and for other things, yes, they are appropriating it. In my mind, I write it very simple. The solution is very simple. As a society, we need to be more open to Ghar Vapsi and what you call the conversion. And we simply need to declare them Hindu because they followed all Hindu practices. If you adopted it, you might as well be Hindu. If you follow Gerwa, you have got Mandir. It's our Pandit Sant Samaj has to take initiative. We just need to declare them that they are Hindu. Let them fight. If you adopted everything for them, what for reason you are different? You need to be far more aggressive than we are.
Before the next question, we have with us Dr. Ananthalakshmi Garu and Dr. Valishwar Garu. We are delighted to have you both to be part of the audience. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Namaste ji, my name is Prabodh. This is a subset of the temples. During the Nizam time, there were a lot of private temples in Hyderabad. So if you look at Dargah, like very close by here, that's a 30-acre campus. Okay, so what can, like at that point of time, any utsav that was done used to create issues with the other community. So there is, these temples were restricted only to family worship only. So there are hundreds of those temples across Hyderabad. Okay, we ourselves own about a 1 acre thing in Amirpet.
Why don't you offer them space? I don't see the mandir, I'm just saying. There are many such in the house to sit and study. Why can't we fund or give them a space? And that is those are small things. Then when people start feeling that they belong to the mandir and mandir belongs to the them. So just need to think. You look at the surrounding area, you realize that there are hundreds of such issues, which a mandir can be a cause of solution to those problems. And I just connect with the community around the mandir.
Shubhodaya Sandeep Mahadaya or Shubhodaya Lingamurthy Mahadaya. I have a question for Lingamurthy ji. So I use a word called IIT, integration of IIT, like integration of institutions, I would say integration of industries plus institutions that plus technology. I mean, that is what integration of IIT is totally missing in India. It's totally missing in India because that is how, if you see US, all these Stanford, Ivy universities integrated with the government, with the institutions. That is how the AI models. So what are the steps we can do? Like for example, when we are not at all in the space situation and all that, we enforce their law to have our own ISRO kind of. So how we can bring that kind of nature in India, because AI is like a devil. It is going to eat the entire market for entire humans, in fact, not at a market, entire humans, entire brains also. So it is going to spoil the entire brains also. So what kind of, I would say, ordinance approach, like government ordinance approach, we should adopt to bring that integration of IIT?
Already national education policy talks about all what all options exist. Each and every education institution
Should connect with the community, and every education institution should have collaboration with the industry, and students should have internship with the industry, and students should connect with the community. So this integration already is being in the process through the NEP 2020. So government already started this. This is the answer, or you are expecting more?
Industry and institutions are integrated,
Yes.
in a way, but the technology is not, like the technology forms are still not integrated. So for example, I was part of IIIT where the Bharat GPT was launched. So when I had a question on that Bhashini, which is part of Bharat GPT, is able to answer questions on 14 different languages, but still the LLMs and data sets are trained on the foreign data sets. And the application is hosted on the Google Cloud platform. So there is nothing Bharatiya in there. It is not hosted on Ola Putrima, it is not hosted on Swadeshi.
That's what I told, we have missed the bus during the third industrial revolution, where we have to play active role in the computer development all. Now it is the time we should not miss the bus. Our youngsters are enough capable to adopt all kinds of technology. I'll give you one example. When we went to Geneva for the attending 12th Ministerial Conference, myself and Professor Ashwini Mahajanji, both of us went for having some kind of snacks. We went to some big shopping mall and we want to pay through the swiping or scanning. They said we don't have any swiping or scanning. We have to give hard money. Then we have to walk 1 kilometer to get money from the ATM, and we came back. Then immediately myself and Ashwini were laughing. What this country is. If you go to small temple, our beggar will have UPI in front of temple and he will take money through the scanner itself. This big shopping mall doesn't have any scanner or swiping. So means, what I mean to say, our uneducated, even beggar also is adopting the technology. And now we have much more educated youth to change the AI policies. And we have to take active role in adopting AI policies, and we have to change as per our requirement. That's what adapt and reject. And whatever the requirement is there, or whatever the existing thing is there, if it is suits in your land, then adopt. If you need any kind of change, you adapt. If you don't need, then reject. So this kind of policy should be properly understood by each and every educated person, particularly in IITs and engineering colleges, so that we can lead the AI technology in 21st century. And we should be the boss in AI. We should not miss the bus. Thank you.
Esteemed Chairman, Rahul Shastriji, dignitaries on the dais, dear participants. I am Professor Priyesh from Kerala University. So here, just talking about temple economics, I am from a state, Kerala. There in 50s we had a chief minister. He was telling, if we destroy a temple, that means superstitions can be eliminated from the society. and we can cultivate tapioca, means a tuber crops, and we can remove poverty also. So the twin benefits. Such was the situation, and I am hearing about temple economics only because of my discussion with Lingamurti ji, because we are friends. So this is a good idea. That's I am getting that. That was the level that we had discussion then, and from that is the revolution, and destroying temple and cultivate tapioca and eliminate poverty and eliminate superstition. So from that level, this is a good idea. And the Sambit Kendra is, we have a Kerala, we have Bharati Vichara Kendra is for reconstruction and for Bharat. So that way the same institution is functioning there. So my question is, my comment is, so our in Kerala lifestyle means not Kerala in Bharat, our end mission is to achieve God Paramatma, so moksha. So and to have that life, to achieve that and reach there, we shall be oriented towards the temple economy. Means in Kerala, because another point, because we shall dedicate ourselves to God, and we had the festival Travancore state, when Harrison mentioned about, there in 18th century, the kingdom of Travancore was dedicated to God, that we got Trippadidana. The kingdom is dedicated, and then their family is dedicated, and the Raja accepted Padmanabha Dasa as a servant of God. That way they ruled the country, and they could prevent. So this way, if we dedicate ourselves to God, and the central point is temple, then our life will be free of corruption. We shall have the aim or that intention in our mind to have money, corruption, then doing nonsense. So we shall be purified, our mind shall be purified, and life path will be very clear and correct. And the society and our Atma will enable us to reach God. So that's a good idea. So that's one of the ways that we can remove our corruption, malpractice, so grabbing money, others' wealth. So this is a good idea. So this I got this idea, and my Sunday is largely benefited. I am here because of Lingamurti ji. So this is a Paramatma can be achieved. So if we follow this temple economy, it's a temple economy. Thank you.
हेलो नमस्ते भाई साहब, मैं सिद्धांत शुक्ला यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ हैदराबाद का स्टूडेंट हूँ जी। आजकल विकास के लिए हम लोग एसडीजी की बातें बहुत करते हैं, सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स, 17 गोल्स डिसाइडेड हैं। आप भारतीय ग्राम और भारतीय परंपराओं को देखें कि जो सभी 17 गोल्स हैं वो हमारी परंपराओं में कहीं ना कहीं पहले से ही सम्मिलित है। अभी आप देखिए, पेड़ पत्तों को रात को तोड़ने से मनाही, पर्यावरण हो, जलचर थलचर नभचर, सभी का सम्मान, पर्यावरण का सम्मान कहीं न कहीं हमारी परंपराओं में पहले से सम्मिलित है। अभी विकास का जो परिवेश है, विकास को हम पश्चिमी सभ्यता के चश्मे से देख रहे हैं। भारतीय परिवेश में विकास की एक नई परिभाषा की आवश्यकता है, जो हमें हमारी परंपराओं को वापस लेकर जाए, परंपराओं तक वापस लेकर जाए, क्योंकि हमारी परंपराएं कहीं न कहीं पहले से ही विकसित थी। अभी विकास का मतलब सभी के हाथ में फोन हो, सभी के पास इंटरनेट का एक्सेस हो, सब टीवी देख रहे हैं, बस विकास कहीं न कहीं वहीं तक सीमित रह कर रहे हैं। तो आपके हिसाब से विकास की क्या नई परिभाषा होनी चाहिए जो भारतीय परिवेश में अच्छे से फिट बैठे, और उसको कैसे हमें अपने जीवन में ला सकते हैं? धन्यवाद।
That's what I defined earlier itself. Sukasya moolam dharmaha, dharmasya moolam arthaha. So the integration of sukha, dharma and economy. This is what today's entire discussion is. So the economy should be based on our ethics, our values, our culture. Culture should not be eliminated from economics. In 1951, UN resolution has brought out stating that the countries who got independence during those times in 1947, 1948 until 1950, those countries have to follow one size fits all formula, that is US model or USSR model. And they said in this resolution itself, the native cultures should be eliminated for the development of their own countries. So elimination of native cultures means India has to eliminate its temple, India has to eliminate its family system, India has to eliminate its festival, and we have to adopt Mother's Day, Father's Day, Lovers Day, those days. Actually, entire economy is based on our festivals, our temple, our dharma. So that is what missing in UN Resolution 1951, and the same UN says after COVID-19, each and every country has to follow their own sustainable models. That is what SDG now. To change UN resolution and to understand UN itself took another 60 years. But we are well understood since beginning from our birth. That is, the economy is lying in our dharma and our happiness is lying in our dharma. So dharma is the only way to sustain societies, not only our societies, entire globe. Removing dharma is only anarchy.
We address the same answer from a slightly different aspect. There are two fundamental questions that will decide the answer to these problems. One is your consumption basket and the other is social prestige. Society runs on the consumption basket. Our consumption basket comes from TV, and our TV propagates a consumption basket which determines the mind of the youngsters. You may talk to them about dharma, they will not understand, because they are living that life which is coming from the TV.
Hey, Mike.
One important step that the government has now taken with these Starlinks and Waves, they are going to reach out to large swathes of the country with through the TV medium. But the problem will still remain. What is the sustainable consumption basket that India has to live by, and how to indigenize it, integrate it with our culture? And it will not catch fire as long as it does not have prestige. Lingamurti ji brought out, how a person can earn huge amounts of money just, working alongside the temple, even though he has to be paid. But his son will not go for that, because the social prestige is not there. When I was a young boy, social prestige was there with the school teacher, especially in the villages. So therefore, although they earned few hundred rupees, not even 100 rupees, because of the prestige, the best brains worked in the village, and they imparted education. Now that man no longer wants to be a school teacher, is a college professor, because social prestige is here. It is with engineers, it is with doctors. So where you invest your social prestige, that will decide the future of the society, not lectures, not analysis. These issues are well understood, but we have shifted the locus of social prestige. That way, you see, this new government has done some very good work. When you look at the Padma Bhushans and Padma, these awards, that's like a very great contribution. But the true essence of that will be achieved when it percolates to the minds of the masses. If something catches the minds of the masses, it becomes a force in itself. So therefore, that is something that has to be worked out through movements. We had a Swadeshi movement which was going very strong. But because of a confusion, it has now slowed down. And the confusion is that we expect the government to do everything. That is wrong. The government has to do its job, which involves technological parity for strategic purposes, which involves a certain line of development that is aligned with the global market. But the movement has to do its own job. So we require to revive our own indigenous movement, which will refocus social prestige in the grassroots level to a way of life that involves a certain consumption basket. That alone will help us to reach into a future, and the government will provide an umbrella. Its work is to hold an umbrella where the society rebuilds itself. So this is, thank you.
Mahodaya, there is one more last question. Could you please take?
Namaste, sir. Myself Kailash. My question is on the solution which Sandeep Singh sir has given to us, that visiting temples in large number will definitely bring some change, because my question is the revenue which is being generated by the visitors, the bhaktas who go to the temples, few governments which doesn't even believe in God they are misusing the revenue generated through the temples, which is the subset of the temple economy. How can we control this? How can we avoid such activities done by the government? Because we visiting temples will directly or indirectly give a good revenue to the temples, which in specific conditions like the temples under endowment boards, they will again misuse the revenue generated through the temples. So how can this be controlled?
Very simple. We'll have to see to it that the government is thrown out of the mandirs as early as possible. As simple as that.
With that question, we end the question answer session. And before the concluding remarks, I would like to make a few announcements.
We made some posters on various things and we displayed here. Kindly have a look on those posters, understand it, and relevant literature is also placed here. We have another counter in Shilpakala Vedika also, similar counter. So relevant literature is also available, because whatever we do, we need adhyayana first. Then we can go into action. So have a good adhyayana, then start. Even in research we say, first you do your literature study, then come to do anything. So my suggestion to all youngsters who are here, start reading, then you can go into some action.
Namaste, just a little announcement. Since there are a lot of researchers and academicians here, if you are interested in research and writing, please do contact us. Samvit Kendra that Rahul ji already mentioned, and there is also a Dakshinapada studies. You can refer to the websites also, dakshinapada.com, and there's a lot of books on display here. We publish a lot of books in the name of Samvit Prakashan, which is an affiliated organization along with Samvit Kendra. So Hindu e-shop has come and displayed a lot of books. You can also refer to samvitprakashan.com as well as hindueshop.com. So please look at all the books. You can order online, and you can also please buy, read, and get others to also read.
So,
my book is in 2 volumes, Temple Economics Volume 1 and A Decade for Mandir. That's Volume 2. The copies got exhausted yesterday. So you can you have the option to order online at Hindu e-shop, or leave your number. They will get in touch with you when you get the book, or you can ask me whichever.
I just repeat what Sri Sandeep ji has told. The book that's authored by him, both the volumes, Temple Economics, we ran out of stock, so they are not available here right now. But you can order them online on Hindu e-shop, or leave your number with the volunteers here, and they will get back to you and they'll send you a copy. Thank you. With this, we come to an end to this session, this wonderful scintillating session. Yes. Before that, we would like to felicitate our guests and I keep telling this. There is a saying in Telugu, Chandrudu koka noonu pogu. So this is a small token of appreciation from us. I thank both the guests and Dr. Shastri ji for chairing this session. I thank all the guests who have come here. There are There is an array of writers like Keshavanaji, professors from universities, esteemed people, and Ananthalakshmi Garu, Dr. Ananthalakshmi Garu and Vanishwarji. Thank you all for coming here and making this session wonderful, interactive and lively. And with this we come to an end to this. There is one more announcement. After the Samarop function, we'd have evening sessions, 2 sessions. The first session starts at 4:30. The next session starts at 6 p.m. So there are 2 more sessions. I would request one and all to assemble here before 4:30, soon after Samarop. We'll conclude this session with Shanti Mantra. Manishan Maji.
It will be go as a lead and follow. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukkhavat bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.